Egg wants to sacrifice baby Rhaegar to hatch dragons, and Dunk King slays him, a la Jaime. The king's
Oh.
blood causes the wildfire to go crazy and destroy Summerhall. I mean, I can't say that
Oh.
that's not a very George thing. That like this long, lifelong friendship where they've been through all of these things together, and there's so much love between these two men, and then in the end, like Dunk has to fucking kill Egg, like this person he loves. I mean, it's pretty fucking brutal. Um,
Hmm.
if he's, if Egg's like, we have to execute the baby, and he's just like
This is
going
a
nuts
very
at
old
him.
theory. This is like I remember
It
reading about
does.
this in 2012. It's really old. The idea.
Yeah.
I can see this being reasonable too, because like I know that the World Book, which is like our only source on like Egg at that time, talks about him being like really frustrated that his like small folk protections and reforms are not being taken seriously, and only dragons would get them through. So I could see like George having like a tough voyaging kind of argument
Mm-hmm.
where like, well, it's for the greater good, that for the this one baby versus the rights of thousands and millions to come. Like I
I
could
mean,
see that being the
it
thing.
literally is like looking at Anakin in the Phantom Menace and somehow thinking that this is going to be a planet destroying monster, right? In Star
Yeah,
Wars, right? Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't know anything about Egg other than the fact, like, except for him as a child, and you're just
Right.
like, oh, and he's like a funny guy and he's great, he's charming, and so like, oh, it's a lifetime later. I think Egg is in his 60s or something during this when he dies, right?
Yeah. Making bitter enemies when he made fast fins, treason and turmoil followed. Yeah, I could see that. Cause yeah, like Egg's thing is that he wants to give, like it's almost like he wants to install Dornish law, like right, like he's like
Mm-hmm.
yes, like veterans should be protected, and you can't beat small folk or whatever, like all these little things, and he gets frustrated that he can't.
That's a good
So
point, Preston. I didn't really make that connection until you just said it because remember in episode 2, Anakin's telling Padme like, "I don't think the system works." In
Yeah.
episode 3, as he's falling to the dark side, he goes, make things the way we want them to be." So that's a good one. I like that.
yeah, it
There
is.
it is. There's your theory
It
right there.
is. You're right.
There it is.
It's a
Um,
shame that George Lucas didn't make Anakin more likable, like for that to really hurt, right? Like,
yeah.
you know.
Um, yeah. I mean, it's funny because it's a similar time. I mean, Dunkin' Egg, Dunkin' Egg 1 comes out in 98. Phantom Menace is in 99. Sworn Sword is where we first hear about Dunk talking about the prophecy, um, about
Hmm.
like how the dragons are going to come back, and Aenys and stuff like that, and him reading prophecy books and stuff. So um, I think there's definitely elements. I mean, here's the thing: is every Targaryen, like we've heard of how many Targaryens who are fucking crazy on prophecy. Okay, so we definitely have Rhaegar is crazy about prophecy. We hear about the Mad Queen Dany from the show. We know that the Mad King is crazy. Viserys was crazy, and Mad King thought he was going to get reborn. We know Aerion Brightflame was crazy. We know Darren the Drunkard was getting prophetic dreams. We know Aemon was getting prophetic dreams. Um, uh, and then the show tells us that Viserys is getting prophetic dreams and Aegon is getting prophetic dreams.
Hmm.
So it's just it fits that like Egg talks about Aenys getting prophetic dreams. So every Targaryen seems to be fucking crazy about prophecy. It seems to fit that Egg was crazy about prophecy. So either he was just doing something innocent, like trying to hatch a bunch of eggs with wildfire, or he's doing something darker. And George likes to go dark. So,
Hmm.
you know, Aryan drinking wildfire is dark. What's darker than drinking wildfire? You got it. It can't just be like a bunch of eggs with wildfire underneath it. No, it's got to be fucking dark. So it's George. So I think it fits that he was trying to kill baby Rhaegar or sacrifice the pregnant lady or something. Yeah, but
Wasn't
I
there
think
a
that fits
prophecy
perfectly.
or a fortune telling that someone said? Was it Jenny of Oldstones that the prince that was promised would be born from their line? So is the theory here that Egg, upon hearing this, tries to sacrifice one of them, the child, to bring back the dragon? Is that the theory? And then Dunk sees this and tries to stop it, and then the whole thing just goes awry. The whole ritual, whatever it is. Is that what it is? Is that the tragedy of Summerhall?
Um,
Is that the theory you're coming through right now?
well, I mean, I think yeah, that I think that let's see, that it's of his line. Yeah, that he's convinced that yeah, that this is the right line, and I'm trying to think like, let me look at the. I do wonder why he let his. I mean, I imagine that Duncan the Small was searching for Jenny of Oldstones because he thought that maybe Jenny of Oldstones had like the special blood or something. And he then decides that he allows Jaehaerys and Shira to have a child, and then Aerys and Rayla. So we get the double incest at that point, right? And then Rhaegar is born. So the double incest of the line. I mean, that's pretty crazy having the two generations of incest right there. He must have somehow thought Jaehaerys was the chosen one of some sort. Then Shira, is he naming after Shira?
Or that the chosen one would come from his line?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he must think. But the dragon has three heads. I don't know if you're going to make that work though.
And Trey, you said you read this that Egg was frustrated that his reforms weren't being taken seriously. This is from the World Book, so this is possibly written by George or Elio.
That he needed dragons, like he needed his dragons for his reforms to actually be taken seriously, and that's why.
So this was either written by George R. R. Martin or Elio, and I'd be curious to see what Elio has to say about that.
Gotcha. So I see what it is. That he wanted the dragons to be real to be back because he thought he could actually like help people.
Yes,
there was a noble reason. It wasn't White Walkers. It wasn't fighting White Walkers. It was like trying to reassert control over and implement good reforms.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that all makes sense.
You want me to ask? You want me to ask him right now? I don't know if he's awake or not, but I can ask him.
What's this?
I can ask Elio if it was Elio or George who wrote that in there. Because if it was George who wrote that in there,
he's gonna say it's George.
It's probably George. George cares too much about the egg stuff, and it's so minimal. Like the egg stuff is so sparse that I'm like, that's probably George wanting to keep things secret.